In the halls of this elite high school, one name echoes and whispers: Kwon Daegun, a senior who vanished 3 years ago, leaving only a legend in his wake. Oh my gosh, really? This is the first time I've seen him in person. Didn't he just disappear? Now he's working part-time at a convenience store. Yeah, you heard that right. The myth, the legend, is now just a dude scanning barcodes. But the school's food chain is about to get a serious shakeup because of his return. Just look at the looks on these guys' faces. The name Kwon Daegun still carries weight. I don't know if he's the person from the legends, but those eyes, he's not ordinary, right? Nah, you can't fake that kind of pressure. Meanwhile, back at the convenience store, the manager is absolutely losing it on our legendary hero, complaining about all the fights breaking out in the neighborhood. There's another fight in the alley. Don't be a coward, you brat. Go knock out 4 or 5 of them with one punch. The manager clearly has no idea who he's talking to. Our boy just calmly asks, "Oh, again? So, can I get off work now?" At the same time, in that very alley, some poor chubby kid is getting his limited edition detective outfit stolen by a couple of thugs. In his head, he's screaming, "If I weren't hiding my power, I'd take you all out with my ultimate move, Cannonball Bomb." The thugs are searching the kid's pockets, finding nothing but a notebook and a magnifying glass. What kind of guy is this? Little do they know, that notebook contains confidential information. Just as they're about to get rough, a shadow falls over them. Everyone stop what you're doing for a moment. It's Daegun. With a lazy but undeniable authority, he asks, "Would it be okay if I borrowed him?" The bullied kid is just confused. "Convenience store part-timer? Why are you here? Who do you think you are? You wanted to listen, you better be a god." The lead thug arrogantly retorts. Daegun doesn't waste another word. One swift motion, a grab, a twist, and with a sickening crack, it's over. The next thing you know, the tough guy is on the floor like a sack of potatoes. The alley goes dead silent. Everyone is stunned, speechless. What kind of monster is this guy? Another goon rushes in. He's fast, but his hits are weak. It's fast, but the damage isn't that much. Daegun barely even flinches, taking the punch before coolly asking, "So who are you?" The next second, a brutal gut punch lands perfectly, and the dude just folds. Our boy is controlling the entire pace of this fight. It's like watching an adult school, a bunch of kids. "Did you do boxing?" The remaining thug finally realizes something is very, very wrong. Daegun's fists are a blur, each hit precise and devastating. "Didn't you want to fight? Why are we talking now?" The guy's in full-blown panic mode. They mess with the wrong part-timer. This isn't even a fight. It's a demolition. Stop. Finally, someone breaks. "This guy, you're not an ordinary person. What union are you affiliated with?" Hearing this, Daegun actually looks confused, scratching his head. "Affiliated? Well, you guys are from a union. But you don't know me?" That question hits harder than any punch. So casual, yet filled with absolute contempt. Nadong High School's twin light brothers. They finally drop their affiliation, trying to save some face. Daegun just smirks. "Oh, the twin lights. For your information, the one called Soki is my." He doesn't even have to finish. The guy's already sweating bullets, his tone completely changed. "Since we didn't recognize each other, let's just end things here." Bro, trying to flex your title in front of Kwon Daegun is like bringing a water pistol to a nuke fight. Violence within the union is forbidden. You know what that means, right? Daegun's voice turns ice cold. But then, just as quickly, he's back to his lazy persona. "But what's that got to do with me? I already withdrew from the union. I'm just working part-time in a convenience store." His words leave them utterly baffled. A retired legend is somehow more terrifying than an active one. Scene change. Our boy has arrived at a youth hostel. This is the starting point for his new mission. "It's my first time here. Should we decide who sleeps on top?" He says it so casually, but the other problem students in the room can feel an unprecedented pressure. A new storm is brewing, right here in the dorms. Daegun is a scaredy cat, isn't he? Some blonde kid jokes, completely unaware of the tiger whose tail he's stepping on. Sure enough, the next second he's pinned to the ground for his disrespectful tone. "It's Kwon Daegun Hyungnim. You dare say his name informally again." Seems like even in retirement, the legend's reputation precedes him. To understand, we have to go back 2 years. Back then, Incheon was a straight-up warring states period for high schools. Fights every day, schools battling for turf. And into this chaos, one man appeared. A man who took a mere 7 days to crush every underground power in the entire city. A rainy night, pools of blood, and a single, solitary figure. He single-handedly brought an era to its knees. The name of that man was Kwon Daegun. This isn't just a rumor anymore. It's a myth. A myth that strikes fear into the heart of every punk in the city. My name is Yoel, former third-year boss of Nadong High, one of the twin light brothers. The blonde kid, one of the thugs from before, introduces himself. Also Hyungnim's most cherished younger brother, his beloved disciple, and his reliable right-hand man. That's right, this is Daegun's former second-in-command. And now, just like his boss, he's also working part-time at a convenience store. Back at the dorms, a game of truth or dare is underway, using a heart rate-based lie detector that zaps you for lying. You went to Nadong High before transferring, right? Someone asks, trying to probe Daegun's past. Our boy just calmly presses the machine, turning the tables. Do you have someone you're interested in right now? The mood immediately shifts. Trying to play mind games with him? Not gonna happen. Later that night, Daegun steps out onto the balcony for some air, only to find a girl huddled in the corner, shivering. What are you doing here? It's cold. He takes her back to the room, wrapping her in a blanket. But just then, the dorm supervisor bursts in, thinking they're hiding alcohol. A classic misunderstanding that makes a tense situation even more awkward and dangerous. The teacher's paranoia and his personal grudge against Daegun almost send things off the rails. The girl, overwhelmed by stress and confinement, starts hyperventilating. Finally, she breaks, collapsing onto Daegun. I'm so dizzy, I can't move. Kwon Daegun. Faced with this sudden, intimate contact for the first time, a look of genuine confusion crosses our boy's face. Even though we're stuck together like this, do you really not care at all? The girl musters up her courage, tears welling in her eyes. Her sincerity seems to shake even the stoic Daegun. He's struggling internally because he knows a real battle is coming. He can't afford to get tied down. To protect her, he has to cut her off. And, just as he predicted, trouble comes knocking. Cheon Jiho, the boss of East Incheon High who took down Nadong's former leader, arrives with his crew for an inspection. He's demanding Nadong High act as cannon fodder in his war to unify Incheon. Daegun wanted to continue his quiet life, but when he sees his classmates being pushed around, he knows the quiet part is over. I told you not to provoke me. Daegun's voice isn't loud, but it freezes everyone in place. He steps into the conflict, facing off against Cheon Jiho's men. He doesn't even bother warming up. One kick, one punch, and the fight is over in an instant. He's showing everyone with absolute power. The hierarchy at Nadong High is about to change. Cheon Jiho himself finally steps up. Looks like you're not a pushover either. Facing the boss of East Incheon, a grin spreads across Daegun's face for the first time in a long time. War? That sounds like it's going to be fun. With those words, the legend officially returns. The monster who suppressed himself just to live quietly has finally been unleashed. But behind all this, it seems an invisible hand is pulling the strings. A man known as the director and his associate are watching from above. Words like immersion, mud, and roll suggest that Daegun's fights are no accident. He isn't just a returning legend. He's a player, chosen and thrown into a brutal game. Welcome to the Coliseum, the announcer bellows. Daegun stands shirtless in the spotlight, his eyes like ice. His opponent is a monster they call Lion, another overdose player modified by the system. This isn't a high school scuffle anymore. This is a life-or-death battle between monsters. The fight begins. The opponent's power, speed, and flexibility are off the charts. But Daegun, the man they call the king of the underground, is on a level beyond human. Every one of the Lion's attacks is countered with greater power, faster speed, and flawless technique. This isn't an even match. It's a one-sided demolition. Stop. Even the referee can't watch anymore. But Daegun doesn't stop. He's not just here to win. He's here to utterly destroy his opponent, to show the director in the shadows that he is not a pawn to be played with. The observers are stunned by his power. Is he even on a level that can be classified as human? Yeah, when a being becomes this powerful, he stops being a participant and becomes the game itself, a force of nature. The monster on stage was annihilated, but the directors below seemed pleased. To them, Kwon Daegun is just a project, a subject with perfect stats. But actually, they don't know anything about Daegun. A man in a black suit calmly reviews the report. He knows this boy they call the king of the underground is no one's pawn. A new plan is quietly being put into motion. The target, of course, is still Kwon Daegun. That kid is on the milder side, someone comments. The man in black scoffs. Mild? He just hasn't been pushed to the edge yet. People don't change that easily, he says softly. And we cut back to the seemingly peaceful school life. Our boy is lining up in the cafeteria like any other day, but you can smell the gossip in the air. Hey, about Beck Susie, you hear what happened? A classmate asks carefully. Daegun freezes. That name, it seems to have struck a nerve he tried hard to forget. Got nothing to do with me, he replies coldly, trying to draw a line in the sand. But in the classroom, the girl named Beck Susie is slumped over her desk, surrounded by whispers, like an isolated island. Sometimes, words cut deeper than any fist. The rumors are getting wilder, and they're all pointing at Daegun. The broken bed incident? I know. It was during a school trip, right? The students joke without a care, turning his and Susie's past into some cheap drama. And our boy, he just listens in silence, his eyes growing colder by the second. But behind these cheap rumors lies a much more terrifying legend. A legend of Taejun's underworld, about a supreme being named Baek Suyeok. They say if Suyeok ever loses, the entire underground order of the city will instantly collapse. And the only one rumored to be able to stand against him is Kwon Daegun. Exams and the school trip are over. Now, there's only one unemployed person left. His classmates' joke is like a key, instantly igniting a murderous intent in Daegun's heart. That's right. He's the unemployed one designated by the project. And his next job is to hunt Baek Suyeok. If the project is to be completed, we must fight. Night falls, and Daegun prepares to leave. His sister watches him with worry, as if she's long gotten used to her brother becoming someone else at night. He's not going out for a fight. He's going to work. Today is an important match. Get ready without being late. A cold instruction arrives on his phone. The last few fights have started to warm him up, but at the same time, he's finding it harder and harder to control his strength. This is purely a matter of his own emotions and restraint. A battle against himself. But now, just one more time, he pushes through inhuman training, sweat soaking the floor. If I fight with Baek Suyeok one last time, this damn Ilgin in charge project will also end. He tells himself, after that, no more fights for me. Meanwhile, the female handler supervising him realizes she's being watched too. Is the target me, or Mr. Kwon Daegun? She quickly understands that this so-called bully in charge project is just a facade. And when the actual contents reveal themselves, she can't let an unrelated person be sacrificed. She risks entering Daegun's residence, only to find he's already aware. There might be someone tailing outside. Her warning was unnecessary. Daegun just says calmly, I apologize. It doesn't make sense for someone to freely enter and exit personal spaces. In that moment, a subtle trust between them seems to transcend the project's constraints. The underground fight club, mud club. The air is thick with sweat and fanaticism. You're the underdog. It's hard to match up against Baek Suyeok. A man in a suit and glasses sneers at the challenger on stage. Yeah, well, in front of the supreme being, who isn't an underdog? But tonight, the main event has arrived. Challenging for the champion title on his first appearance. An impertinent but spirited rookie. The announcer screams himself hoarse. That's right, the challenger is none other than Kwon Daegun. He's not here to challenge the rules. He's here to become the rules. Isn't the training period a bit short to face Baek Suyeok? The managers on the sidelines whisper, full of doubt. But the man in charge of Daegun's training just smirks. Just watch. It will be interesting. The fight begins. No, this isn't a fight. It's a one-sided execution. Every punch Daegun throws is like a precision-guided missile, demolishing his opponent's defense, dignity, and consciousness. Power, speed, technique. He's on a completely different level. Can you believe it? An ace has appeared. A tremendous ACTO challenge the king of unemployment. The announcer is going absolutely insane. Yes, after tonight, the underground will have only one name to fear. Baek Suyeok, the man they call king, is now just a chapter title in Daegun's story. Daegun looks down at his fallen opponent, a cold smirk playing on his lips. Just so you know, King, he announces softly, is caught by the ace. But here, the story takes a curious turn. The project handler tells Daegun the project can be terminated early. But he refuses. There's only one left, he says, his eyes firm. Why drag things out? Baek Suyeok, I want to finish this as soon as possible. Have you even seen Baek Suyeok's shadow? The handler retorts. His whereabouts are currently unknown. Daegun's gaze sharpens. You planned this project so thoroughly, but you can't find one of your own students? Does that make sense? Or are you hiding something? Flashback. The old Daegun was just a brute with raw power. He fought with no technique, purely on instinct, like a low percentage gamble. He had perfect physical attributes, strength, flexibility, elasticity, near perfect balance, but paired with the absolute worst technique. If you keep gambling like that, you'll lose everything fast, a mysterious man told him. But if you insist on gambling, then stop guessing. Instead, you make the opponent guess your cards. You set the rules of the game. And just like that, something clicked. Daegun was no longer a passive reactor. He became the one creating the choices, forcing the multiple choice question onto his opponent. Among all my various attacks, which one is the real one? And while the opponent is still busy guessing, Daegun's fist has already delivered the answer. This fighting style goes beyond simple combat. It's become a psychological demolition. He's not fighting anymore. He's playing with their minds. This isn't some artificial immersion granted by a system. It's a natural, pure immersion. His body was born to be a vessel for combat. And through endless, brutal training, he has sharpened that natural gift into a blade sharp enough to kill a god. Back to the present. In the dead of night, Daegun confronts a mysterious figure. "It seems you are Baek Suyak," he says calmly. But then, the opponent suddenly attacks, a heavy fist flying without any warning. The fight explodes in an instant. The opponent's agility is insane, a speed that doesn't match his build at all. Daegun's instincts are screaming at him. This guy is dangerous. A single hit could be fatal. But just as the fight hits its peak, a squad of men in black suits appears, surrounding Baek Suyak. "Baek Suyak, come with us. They're the goons from the underground arena. Don't get in the way." Our boy has zero interest in watching their little drama unfold. He instantly intervenes, taking down these uninvited guests one by one. The word gank doesn't exist in his dictionary, only clearing the area. In the middle of the chaos, a call comes in from his sister. She's worried he's doing something reckless again. That concern causes a split second of hesitation in his movements. And in that instant, Baek Suyak takes his chance and vanishes into the night. If you want to fight, you have to do it in the right place. A new figure emerges. It's Baek Suyak's manager, Park Hee-jun. "I'm the one who manages him," he says with a smile. "Without my permission, neither of you gets to fight." He offers Daegun a business card, proposing to build a proper stage for them. On the other side, we finally see another face of Baek Suyak. He's not a warmonger. Everything he does is for money, to give his sister, Suji, a safe and free life. And in his eyes, Kwon Daegun, this unidentified risk factor, is someone who absolutely cannot be allowed near his sister. Daegun is ordered to stay away from school for a while. Lying in bed, he surprisingly finds himself missing it. But waiting is not his style. He looks at the business card in his hand, and a plan begins to form in his mind. The next day, the school erupts. The entire student body rushes to the front gate, their faces a mix of shock and terror. Because the man of legend, the supreme being of Taejun, the final boss who was supposed to have disappeared, Baek Suyak, is standing right at the school gate, asking for Kwon Daegun by name. The prey has come to the hunter. It seems this final hunt is now unavoidable.